Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial. On today's episode, we will be learning how to draft and cut an off-shoulder bustier blouse. If this is something you're willing to learn, stay tuned while we jump right into the video. So here are the measurements needed to make our off-shoulder bustier blouse. I have a detailed tutorial on my channel on how to take this measurement. So in addition to the measurements I listed, we also need a strap to strap measurement, which is a very important measurement to take for making an off-shoulder blouse. This measurement is taken from one bra strap to another strap, just as seen in the image above. So the next important measurement is our cleavage measurement. This measurement determines the neck depth of our off-shoulder blouse. This is where our off-shoulder blouse is going to start from. So I already have my already drafted full scale pattern with the desired length of my blouse. So if you want a detailed tutorial on how to achieve this, I have a tutorial on my channel. So I'm just here trying to label my pattern for clarity purpose. Before I start drafting, I've already imputed all measurements. So first, I'm going to go to the shoulder of my front pattern and divide the shoulder into two equal halves. I'll divide the shoulder into two equal halves from the neck width to the shoulder tip. From the point I'm marking, you take your tape and measure it. While measuring, you'll find the midpoints of this measurement. From that part to the other part, you find the midpoint of that line. So when you found the midpoint, you will mark it down. Then the next thing you're going to do is to connect it to your bust point line, just the way I'm doing it. That is your dot line. So you see how I'm going to connect it with a straight line. Also go to the back and do the same thing. You divide your neck width to your shoulder tip. You divide what you have there and get the midpoint of it. So whatever you get, you connect it to your dart leg. So basically the same thing you did for the front is what you also do at the back. We are trying to get our princess dart line. So the next measurement we're going to be inputting in our pattern is our cleavage line measurement. So from our measurements video that we did in the beginning of the video, I showed you how to take our cleavage line measurement. So that measurement I got 4. If you check the picture I displayed, I got 4. So from the neck tip, from the neck depth tip, I'll be going down by that 4 measurement, by 4. From the neck depth, I'll go down by 4 that I measured on my client. So this is it. You measure the 4, you impute 4 on your pattern. Then you also take the measurement from the top so that you'll be able to transfer it to the other parts. That's your back pattern. You take it from the top so it'll be easy for you to transfer to the back. Then when you are done marking it, you connect with a straight line, and this straight line will serve as your cleavage line. This cleavage line is going to be where your blouse is going to start from. You know that off-shoulder blouse does not start from the neck, it's always around the chest area. So this is where your blouse is going to start from. So I turned my pattern the other way around, so for us to see what I am doing on the pattern. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to tighten my cleavage line. I'm going to tighten that part because you know it's on the chest and we don't want it to gape. You don't want your off shoulder when you wear it is gaping or falling off your chest. So to do that, you can either use 0.5 on each leg of the line, or you can use 1, you can use 0.75 depending on the size. But if you have like a small shoulder or if you are small in size, you can use 0.5. But for me, I'll be using 0.75 because the bust I'm working with is 36 and that is kind of on the big side. So for me to tighten it well, I have to use that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect this line that I've marked. You can use a straight line, but I used a curve, but I'll prefer you use a straight line. You use a curve to connect it to your bust point. You connect it to your bust point from that line from that over tightening line that you've marked on the chest line. This will enable you to have a firm chest line so that your blouse will not be falling off after you've sewn it, you get. So the next thing we're going to be imputing now is our underbust circumference. The underbust circumference I'm working for this pattern is 31, and 31 divided by 4, that gives me 7.75. You have to divide your underbust circumference by 4. So whatever you get, you impute it. You're going to be using that to tighten your underbust. You have to tighten your underbust for you to have a bustier shape at the end of the day. So I'll be imputing 7.75 on my underbust line. So from there, I'll measure what remains from my measurement. From that part, I'll measure what remains, and whatever remains is what I'm going to use to tighten my underbust. For me, in this measurement, what remains for me is 1.75. So I'm going to use that 1.75 to tighten my underbust. You can either share whatever results you got to 2 equal halves and impute one on the left side and impute the other half on the other side. But most times I do not like to share mine equally. I just use 0.5, then whatever remains I'll impute it on the other leg. That's the way I'm doing it. So the next thing for me is to connect the dart from the dart point to the underbust line I just marked with a curve. We are trying to form the bustier cup. So you see the way I am using my curve to connect from the bust point line to my underbust. Then I'll also do the same for the other side and connect with a curve. So here's the result. What next we're going to do is that we're going to connect from the underbust line to our waistline with a straight line. Then you do the same thing for the other side also. We're forming our bustier darts for our off-shoulder blouse. So now we'll be working on the neckline of our blouse. It's left for you to determine the type of neckline you want. You can do a boat neckline just the way I'm doing it. You can make yours like this if you want it to like come down a bit on your chest line. You can also do like a V neckline on your off shoulder, or any neckline you want. So I'm just showing you an example of how you can do yours. If you want any neckline you want, you can use, but for me I'll be using a sweetheart neckline for this particular tutorial. I'll be using a sweetheart neckline. I don't want my off shoulder to just be straight on the client's chest. It should have like a bit of curve at the end of the day. So that's what I'm imputing now. So here is what we have. I'm going to use my marker to make it really obvious. So this is my sweetheart neckline that I've created, although it's not so sweetheart, but it's just a bit of a sweetheart neckline. So right now it's time for our strap to strap measurement to be useful for us. The strap to strap measurement I got for my clients is 10. I'll be dividing 10 into 2 equal halves. That is equals to 5. This 5 that I've gotten, where am I going to impute it? Of course, I'm going to impute that on the cleave line. So just see how I'm going to place my tape. The answer we're going to get is 5. What we're looking for now is 5. I will place it from, see the way I place my measure. I'm placing my tape from the center front. Just take a look at where my tape stop, where on this dart leg, from this point, from this dart, I'll continue whatever measurement I get there. I'll continue it on the next dart leg, and make sure you stop at 5 on the dart leg. So here I'm getting 3.6. So 3.6 I'm getting here. I'll carry it over to the other side and continue my measurement and make sure it stops at 5. So when I get to that 5 line, I will mark it on the cleave line. So we'll also do the same thing for the back, on the back cleave line also. So yes, I'll be imputing 5, that same 5 I got for my strap to strap measurement divided by 2. I'll impute the 5. You know that why I did it like this for the back is that it does not have any darts on the cleave line. So that was why I just imputed 5 that way. I did not have to carry it over from one dart leg to the other. But if you want to tighten your back, I want to tighten it now. I'm going to use 0.25 to tighten it so that it can be to have a little bit tightening at the back. So I'll be tightening it with 0.225 on one side of the dart leg and 0.25 on the other side of the dart leg. So when I'm done, the same way I measured my strap to strap 5 to get 5 on my measurement is the same way I'm going to be using 0.25 that I use, what I'm showing you, 0.25 on each dart leg I use. So I'll connect it to my dart line. I'll connect that measurement to my dart line just to have a little bit of fitting at the back. It's not a must to do it, but it's just to show you that there are 2 ways you can also do it. So I'll be taking my tape to impute my strap to strap. So I'm going to leave the one I've marked before, although you can leave that one and work with it. But I'll be marking 5. So I'll mark it the way I did it, from the center back to one dart leg, then continue to measure till you get 5 on the other dart leg, just the same way you did for the front. Since now that this one has a dart on top, you will do it the same way you did the front. So now we have a new strap to strap line on our cleave line further back. And the next thing we're going to be doing now is to create a new off shoulder armhole, and to do that we have to close our bust dart for it to be easy for us to create our off shoulder new armhole line. So here I'm just trying to close my bust dart. Then I'll reconnect the sides with my marker pen. So now I'll be separating the front and the back so I can work with the front adequately. So I'm cutting through so I can separate the front from the back. I'll work on the front adequately. So now it's time for us to create our off shoulder armhole, and to do that we're going to take measurements from the shoulder tip to the chest line. We'll take the measurement from on the chest line, or you can call it the armhole line, to the shoulder tip. See where I'm marking it, this line to that point, to the shoulder tip. So when you do that, you place your tape there. Whatever you get, you divide that measurement by 2. You divide that measurement by 2. Whatever you get from the shoulder tip to your chest line, or it's called the armhole line or the chest line, you divide that result into 2 equal halves. For me, I got 7 from the shoulder tip to the chest line, and when you divide 7 into 2, that's 3.5. That's 3.5. I've been putting this measurement from my strap to strap measurement I measured previously. That mark, I'll take down the measurement, I'll impute 3.5 downwards. 3.5 from the strap to strap mark downwards. Then connect from that strap to strap line to this new point I have marked with a straight line. This thing you also did here, you also do at the back, but firstly we'll just work on the front first. When you're done, you connect that point to the side of your front. You do the same thing, you come down by 3.5, you square down, then you square out just by the side. So now this is our new armhole for off shoulder blouse. So now we have a new armhole. So the next thing we're going to focus on is on our darts, our overbust darts. We have to make sure that the darts are equal, not that one is higher than the other, so it does not affect when you are cutting. So now I'm going to join these 2 darts together to make sure that they align when we are sewing. It does not give us any mistake. So if there's any part that is missing, we'll have to add or subtract. So I'll be using this front one to cover, so you can see there's a point that is lacking. If they are not meeting at the point, wherever it stops, you mark it. Then when you are done, you connect it to the side, just the way I'm doing it. And also for the bustier, if you notice on my own pattern, there's a pointy part. You can also blend it if you want. Then for the sleeve part, you connect with a curve from that strap to strap point to the side of your front, just the way I did it. That will be the new armhole for your off shoulder. So all those construction I did in the first place was just for a guide, so that we'll be able to get it well. So here it is. We'll connect it to the side. We'll also do the same thing for the back. We'll mark from that point and connect to the sides. So now our off shoulder pattern is almost ready. So now I'm trying to mark out the point I'll be cutting out. This is for the center front. I'll be cutting the center front. This is just for a guide for beginners to know what to cut when you are working on your own pattern. So this is for the side front. It's for the side front. Just follow my marker pen so that you don't get confused. These parts are the parts you're going to work with for your off shoulder. Those other parts will be cut off. You won't be needing the upper part. So yeah. So here is what your center front looks like. It has 2 pieces. Then now it's time for me to cut out the back. So you watch how I am cutting it. Just almost like the front also. So before I cut out the pieces, I just remember that I wanted a type of neckline at the back. I didn't want it to just be straight, so I'll be cutting it out now. So if you want yours to be straight, you can leave it that way, but I want mine to have like that type of shape I gave, like a V shape at the back. So that's it. They cut out the zip, that bulge, then the darts. So now I'm done. It's good for you to label your patterns because so that you don't make mistake. And so yeah, you will label your patterns, the center front, side front, center back and side back, and now your patterns are ready for transfer to fabric. So this is what an off shoulder bustier pattern looks like. Thank you all for watching this tutorial. I believe you've learned 18 or 2. So if you have any question regarding this pattern or any story you want me to do, kindly drop it down on the comment section. Kindly subscribe to my channel. I'll be showing you how to transfer this to fabric and also sewing this pattern. So yes, subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Like, comment, share my video to those that need this tutorial. So thank you. See you all in the next tutorial. Bye.